What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
How are we doing? Shout out to everybody that is out there. Happy, dude. I don't even know what day it is. It's got to be Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday. Yes.
God, what a good guess. I was like, well, I didn't work 13 hours today. We're doing the show. I'm home in time. So it's got to be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, right?
Yeah, it's got to be one of those days, right?
Right? So there we go. How are you doing, man? How are things?
Doing good, doing good. Got my MRI today. Felt like a sardine. I don't know how bigger people. I'm not small, but I'm not huge, and I don't know how bigger people fit in those machines. So,
Sheesh.
yeah.
Sheesh. Well,
Uh, how about you?
Well, I might have to quit Starbucks, and I might have to quit Starbucks because they've changed their dress code, and I'm not going to be able to wear my wedding ring. So my wife said that I can't work there without my wedding ring on.
They won't let you wear a wedding ring?
So if it were a plain solid band, then I could, but because it has etches and a couple of gems in it, I won't be able to. Starting May 12th, I think.
That's crazy.
And instead of being able to wear this shirt with an apron on it, I'm going to have to wear one of two black shirts that they give to me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's got to be some kind of discrimination or something like that.
Well, I'm sure that like if I were to complain, they would be like, whatever. I'm really just going to end up putting on one of those silicone wedding bands. You know what I mean? But it's a health thing. Like you can't have watches or anything anymore. So like watches, just anything that has grooves or it's on bracelets, none of that.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, unless it's new. I worked in the restaurant industry years ago and it didn't matter. I wore my watches, chains, whatever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We are. I mean, I see Desert right now. Working in a restaurant. He's got all 7 of his chains on. You see 2 chains come out with these 2 big chains, but there was Desert. He's got like a whole roster. Looks like that. I can't remember who that guy is, but there's like that
Mr. T.
Well, Mr. T. Yeah, Mr. T. I was actually thinking about that like Indian version one. Do you know?
That meme, the dude with all the gold chains, and yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's got the rings, and yeah.
Well, I think one thing that we can be really proud about, especially this time around, is we basically called the bottom. When we streamed a show basically every single day through all of the monotonous, boring parts of the entire market cycle. And then the day we took like a week off, that was the bottom. And it was only up from there. So,
well, I don't know if it's only up from here. If you've been watching the market updates the past 2 nights, it's kind of been following what I said it was going to follow, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, there is some other stuff that point to good news. I just don't think we're back. Like, boom, we're going to Valhalla.
Crypto King, we're back, but
what's
we're
up,
not
Daniel?
back is what Desert is. He's saying we're back-ish, right? We're starting to come back around. So there we go. But love it. So I don't know. Today, I guess we should talk about what's been going on or what we're doing. And I feel like the easiest way to talk about it is just that Desert and I are real people. We have a lot of things going on. So I've got some things that have changed with my work situation. Desert has some things that has changed with his work situation. So we took some time off because we've just been nonstop doing everything. And we're real people. So sometimes we have to take time for our in real life time. But there's that. And we're reworking how we're going to do Crypto Nightly because our schedules are different. So the time is going to be different. And we're probably going to do segments differently. I think
and people got to understand that I'm on the West Coast, John's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-hour difference as it stands right now.
Yeah, right now it's 9 o'clock for me. So if you guys are on the East Coast, you can empathize with me. If you guys are on the West Coast, you know, it's 3 hours earlier for you. But it's hard for us to find a time in the middle. And, you know, I would even make concessions and maybe film a show before I go into work at Starbucks at 5 in the morning. The problem is that ends up being what? 1 a.m. in the morning for Desert, who then at 5. So, you know, we've got a lot of logistical things that we're working out. But we
it doesn't help that John's already working 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to move back to the desert, back down the mountain to where I used to live, the city where I used to live. So I'll be back at the parent company for Aztec, and I'm going to end up start working 14-hour days.
Yeah. So we're, you know, things are a little complicated, but we love you guys. We're here. We're going to do our best to figure out a way that works for us and you all going forward. Plus,
that's right.
Everything had kind of started to get a little stale and stagnant. So whenever that happens, we got to shake it up. We got to figure out how to be better. So anybody that has some suggestions on how to be better, any constructive criticism, we appreciate and love it. And we're going to get better, right? We're growing. I mean, think about it. When we started, it was terrible. Everybody who was here at the beginning, we thank you for suffering that far. But you've seen the massive growth and change since we started. And so here we are. And going forward, we're just getting better. Yeah.
Here, let me see something.
Yeah. We basically forgot.
How do you swap us to where you're on the other side? Swap us. Okay, there we go.
There we go. I mean, so that's natural.
So now when I'm looking at you, I'm like directly below the camera.
Yeah.
Instead of me looking at you over here the whole time. And when I'm looking at you over here, it looks like I'm looking away from the camera. So there we go.
That works. Guys, you're basically relearning everything that we took all these months to learn. So bear with us. Thank you guys for joining us. And make sure to like, subscribe, and share. We're going to have a pretty smooth episode for you today. But I think we should just go ahead and start to get into it. So, Desert, do the actual resetting of the room because you do.
But I can't do that because it's no longer necessarily true.
Okay. Well, you're right.
But everybody, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, tap that notification bell. If you're on X, tag some DJs, share this with a friend, do all that good stuff. And then that's where I have to stop because it used to be we go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you the daily news nightly. But now
we're just bringing you daily news nightly when we can.
Well, there will be market updates. So
and we get a regular schedule.
Yeah, I picked 7 p.m. Pacific because I feel once I'm back down in the valley, once I'm back down in Phoenix, that gives me enough time to get home, do what I have to do around the house, get the market update recorded. You know what I mean? I got to set it all up, then record it, then edit it, then get it out. So I think 7 o'clock might be the sweet spot. So you guys will probably be getting a market update, 7 p.m. PST every day. Probably.
Well, that's what I was going to say is at 7 p.m. PST, I might be home and available every day.
Well, see, then that's another thing we need to figure out because it you know, it's much easier just to set up the stream and go live.
Yeah.
Than it is to just monologue to a camera for 20 minutes, then edit it, then wait for YouTube to freaking upload it. Holy crap. If you upload anything in the 1080p or 4K range, it takes forever. You know what I mean? Last night's video was done at like 6 o'clock my time. Obviously, it didn't go out till 7, but it was done at 6 o'clock my time. and it didn't probably get done uploading till 6:40, something like that, so it's crazy.
But let's check out what's going on in the market. Let's go ahead and run through it. Let's see. I'll join whenever y'all need me. Oh, dang. We both were thinking the same thing. Yeah, shout out to Crypto King. We definitely love to have you on, man. We invite you on anytime. We'll
figure
that out.
Yeah, that might work too. That might. Okay. I like that idea. All right, let's get into it. Go ahead and roll that beautiful footage.
I'm going to actually skip the market update one and go straight into the Rare Evo one, and then we'll just do the other one. So we'll only have 2 cuts this time.
Let's do it.
Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.
All right. Oh, this is totally different now because I resized everything. I resized everything for the other format. Let's see here. There we go. That'll work. What do you think?
Perfect.
That'll work. All right. So we got the market cap coming in at 3.05 trillion. And, I talked about this the last 2 days. If you guys remember months ago, it seems like last freaking year, that 3 trillion was like our live or die support level. And we broke through it and we fell, and we've been in the 2 trillions, the high 2 trillions this whole time. We are back over 3 trillion. That in itself, in my opinion, is a very, very good indication of the health of the market. Get off that. So we are down 1.8% today. Volume coming in at 103 billion on a Wednesday. That's not bad for this time in the cycle. We're coming in. Bitcoin's up at 61.3%, and Ethereum is at 7% dominance. Still less than 1 GUI to send to ETH transaction. And John has a bookmark of some crazy stuff with Ethereum. Some crazy little number for Ethereum. But we got Bitcoin coming in at 94,246, pretty much flat. We got Ethereum at 1795, also flat. XRP at 219, down 1.7%. BNB at 600, flat. Solana at 148, up 1.4. Doge at 1727, down 0.8. And Cardano at 6851, down 1.1. Tron at 24.7 is up 1.3. And we got to check SWI. Remember, last time we did a live stream, SWI was like number 22. And it pumped all the way up to 13. It would even be higher right now, but it's had a retracement. It is down 0.6, coming in at 352. So let's take a look at the biggest gainers. Virtuals is up 20%. Curve DAO up 12. Fartcoin up 10. Hyperliquid up 6.5. Pi up 7. Floki up 6.7. Monero up 4.3. WorldCoin up 7%. And ASI up 11. And then we got a few more gainers, but that's it for like the double digits. Look at the biggest losers on today. Bonk is down 3.3. We got Sonic down 3.5, Avalanche down 2.6, Optimism down 1.6. So there's no big losers, even though the whole market's down 1.8. There's no real massive losers on the day, which is good.
Yeah.
So one other thing real quick is the pre-market. So pre-market, Dow is up almost 0.5. S&P's up almost 1. NASDAQ 1.4. And then oil's unchanged and 10 years unchanged. And I think this has a lot to do with the fact that Meta and Microsoft have freaking blown away their expectations for their earnings. So that is very good to see, as you can see with the NASDAQ being up 1.4. So that's where we are at right now on the market update, and see what else we got.
All right. So I got a whole bunch of articles. Oh, man. Yeah, there we go. That's so much better. All right. Anyways, so this first one is a staked ETF for Psy has been filed by Canary Funds or Canary Capital. This is pretty big. Psy is actually not one we've heard of too much in the ETF conversation, but I like these staked ETFs. I think that it's cool that we're going to have people that are basically through stock market able to buy crypto and then benefit from staking. Although their staking rewards will probably be less, I still think that's cool. And I like that for the ecosystem and for what's going on here. I've got some things. This was kind of funny to me. So saying that basically there is a subculture. So people that really love Japanese culture, they call them weebs. But so this is like the opposite of like where Japanese people that would be considered basically weebs, but for American, like Western stuff.
Okay.
This is not going. But this guy, he shoots a very, very fast revolver, pulls it out. It is amazing. But I love that. I think this is funny that we have the inverse of the thing. Hold on. There we go. Nah, it's not doing it. It's loaded. Not loaded.
Well, I mean, you've seen the memes about how do Americans eat breakfast, and it's like a big thing of coffee, bacon, eggs, potatoes, with a 45 sitting next to it, and a friggin' rifle leaned up against the table. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's how they see us.
Absolutely. So I thought this was cool. Also, I wanted to say shout out to WalletGuard. Because this is pretty massive. I'm not going to read this whole thread, but you should check it out. Make sure that you're following WalletGuard. Remember, I got an interview with Michael, who is one of the founders of WalletGuard. And he talks about like some of the ways that WalletGuard is actually protecting you in the crypto space and that they got acquired by MetaMask. So MetaMask is using a lot of their proprietary technology, which is awesome to keep you safe. But there's this new problem. It's a bug that has to do with Apple. And so sometimes when you update your Apple device, there are some of these things, this new bug called Airborne, that actually tracks everything that is going on your phone. So when you interact with crypto, when you do all these other things, the people can steal all your funds that way. But this talks about how to protect yourself from it and how WalletGuard protects you from these kinds of hacks, which this is just scary because, you know, everybody usually updates their phone and doesn't read anything about it. It's like the terms of use. How many people read the terms of service? You know?
My Samsung just updated the other night. I think it was Sunday night. And I woke up Monday and my entire phone is different.
Yeah.
Like all the icons are different. Like the way, because Samsung uses One UI, I guess is what it's called. And it freaking like totally different. Like when I do my drop down menus, everything is freaking, I was like, what the hell is going on here? So
sheesh. I'm sure that's going to be me soon because I don't think I have an auto update thing on mine.
Yeah. Oh, I keep mine on auto update. If you read the top of that, it says stop clicking skip on your updates.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to update your software.
Yes.
But you want to make sure what you're updating also.
Yes, exactly. But check out this thread. Follow WalletGuard. Highly recommend. And then this was the big news. Okay, so Justin, Ethereum just closed 5 straight monthly losses for the first time since September 2018. So, I mean, think about that. Monthly candles last the whole month. So we're saying 5 monthly candles of losses consecutively.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty crazy. But also, if you look at this chart, this happened right before this little number. and then this little number. I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to happen here, but I'm just saying, you know.
But look at that. If you count those candles, like, yeah, it does turn and go parabolic, right? But count those candles. Those are monthly candles. That's probably like a year and a half.
Yes. Yeah. No, for sure. Again, yes. Also accurate, but this is pretty wild. I don't know if we're necessarily going to see it again with Ethereum. And I just feel that, like, okay, so history tells me that we will see this again with Ethereum.
Yeah.
But, like, my feeling about this market and with the other players that have come in, I just think it's going to be dethroned. I just think that Solana, I really like Sui. I think that these are going to be the types of things that just like absolutely exceed Ethereum. I mean, Arbitrum, even like some of these, there's a lot of different things I think are better for users to use and different things than the actual base layer of Ethereum. I mean, granted, the layer 2s on Ethereum having a lot of activity will translate to a lot of activity on Ethereum, but I just don't feel like it's going to be where all the value is held. I personally don't.
No, I think I agree with that. I think Ethereum is going to be your institutional layer.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to let the price get out of control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in my opinion, the reason these are have dipped so much is because of institutional control. And I think those are a little high, I think, Daniel.
Well, I used to think 10 to 12K Ethereum was in the cards. I thought that was a given. But like lately, I don't know about it. I definitely think $5 to $10 ADA, though. I mean, we got even Alex Becker saying that at this point. He's not talking about, you know, he's like, Cardano guys are about to lather themselves up in peanut butter, you know, at a $10 ADA. You know.
Yeah. You know, I agree with the 10K for ETH. That would be my high side target, 10K. So like 8 to 10 on ETH. You know, the 200K for Bitcoin, I know it can happen, but I can't wrap my mind around the fact that we're going to hit 200K by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's completely possible, you know, but it's just like, man, 200K and then 5 to 7 ADA. Yeah. My target's, what did I say? 450 to 550 on Cardano would be my sell target. You know, not all of it, obviously, but.
Also, shout out to Addie Web3. She is a goddess in the space. If you don't follow her, check her out. I'm not going to tell you what her @ is, but
it says it right there.
But I mean, yeah, there you go. NFT Addy. Shout out to NFT. But this is another cool thing. Revoke Cash. Revoke Cash is another product that is protecting people in Web3. And the team over at MetaMask was talking very highly about Revoke Cash and things that they are doing. But one of the things that they're talking about here in this thread is address poisoning. And this is one of the sneakiest scams. They say it there, but it really is, because what happens is somebody will send you the smallest possible fraction of crypto to an address that looks very much like an address that you're familiar with, that you send stuff to. The idea is so that way when you go into your wallet to send to a certain address, it'll pull up the last address that sent you like crypto, and it will assume that you're probably sending to that address. You'll look at it and it looks very much like the other one, but there'll be like a couple of letters or numbers or whatever somewhere hidden that are different. So it's kind of like it would be like it's like the scammers, you know. You see a scammer and it'll say the John Carter, right? But it'll have like one extra R or something that you're probably not.
Or the A and the R will be swapped.
Exactly. So this is basically what they are doing, but with your crypto wallets. So the thread talks about it, and they break down how it works. Lots of people have lost money that way.
And that's a big thing because, like, the way I have always done it, like when I'm sending to addresses, I check like the first 5 or 6 numbers and the end 5 or 6 numbers. And if those are accurate, I send it, because what is there? 42 freaking numbers in between, numbers and letters.
So that's what they're saying. They swap something in the middle because they know you're looking at the end and at the beginning.
Wow.
Right? So that's how they get you. And it doesn't take any fake websites, any malware, none of that. It's just a tiny mistake. And there have been some like big money mistakes like this. But so definitely
Revoke.cash, if I'm not mistaken, they've been around for a while.
Yes, very
so
long.
You can go, if it's the same website I'm thinking of, you can go to their website and like connect your wallet and it will revoke, because some of you guys, I know a lot of our listeners and watchers are Cardano people, right? Well, in the Ethereum realm, once you connect your wallet, they can just drain your wallet,
or do other things with your funds or your wallet, and you're giving them permission to control.
Where you can't do that on Cardano. So what revoke.cash, I'm pretty sure it's the same place.
Yeah,
you can go there and you can revoke, because sometimes you don't know, you might be connected to like 10 sites you don't even remember using,
or Magic Eden,
right?
You know what I mean?
So you go in there and what it'll do is it'll revoke the permissions from all the websites or whatever websites you click on to revoke from your wallet. So
yeah, but definitely nothing against Magic Eden. That was just an example. Oh man, look at me. Look what I did. I just started looking at other stuff and I went just off. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you have ADHD, but this is pretty massive. Breaking XRP is now supported on MetaMask via the XRPL EVM sidechain. This is bullish. And I have other news about Cardano that is very similar to this, actually. I wanted to point out this. Shout out to John Deaton. All I said was that one XRP lawyer in Desert knew exactly who I was talking about. Yeah. But there was this story 6 hours ago, but Ripple pitched buying Circle for $4 billion to $5 billion, but the offer was rejected. This is according to Bloomberg. Okay. So what John Deaton is saying here, if Ripple and Circle combined, buying and becoming a bank is next. Inquiring minds want to know, how high will Brad Garlinghouse go? This is massive. Like, I mean, those are the biggest stable coins.
Ripple's already bought a prime brokerage. So, and now they're FINRA. I think they got a FINRA license too. So,
yeah, I think this is big. And I think that it's hard for me to imagine Ripple buying Circle, because even though Ripple has a ton of money, like Circle is not poor.
Right. Circle is definitely not in a position where they need to sell.
Yeah. But I do think that an acquisition or a merger of the two would be one of the biggest mergers in the space. And I think it would be the best business decision for both parties involved. I don't know. If somebody gave me $5 billion, I wouldn't be sad about it. But then to go on and make even more money afterwards together, I think would be crazy. And I think that's
why. The question is, why would Ripple want Circle when USDC is a direct competitor? Well, USDC is a massive, massive whale of a competitor compared to RLUSD.
Well, I mean, I would just say you'd control the market then. You're basically the majority of all the stable coins, and you now have a bank together type situation. You know what I mean? I think that, when you have those amounts of money, you can just make more together. Why would you fight?
Yeah, I could see that,
So this is what I see going on here. But I think this is definitely something to watch, something to look at. This is pretty bullish for XRP. I'm not going to say it's bullish for Circle just because if the stable coin goes up, we got problems. So there's that. And then we got some Trump news. Eric Trump says that banks who don't embrace crypto will be extinct in 10 years.
Makes sense.
I would say I agree with the sentiment, but I doubt that because banks don't have money anyway. So like, why is 10 years of time gonna like bankrupt them? I don't know.
Well, I think what he's saying is that capital and the financial industry is going to be so ingrained with crypto that if you're a big institution and you want access to crypto and traditional finance, well, if JP Morgan doesn't offer any kind of crypto related products, but Wells Fargo does, who are you going to go with?
Yeah. Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
They'll also let you leverage your crypto and different things like that. So you'll have all kinds of options. So we got this. Shout out to Viva. We love Viva La Coin. But he says, listen, if this administration, unlike the prior, will actually allow the real payroll numbers or initial jobless claims to come out when they confirm the recession, which he's basically saying the administrations and previous administrations, they never give us the real numbers until much later. It's kind of like they give us bad news after we've already hit the iceberg and everybody that was on the boat drowned. They're like, actually, there's an iceberg. And we hit it back there. And all
we've
of
seen
those
this.
people died.
We've seen this when they had to edit the like 1 million jobs or whatever. Yeah. We've seen it last year. Not to mention, like, man, I don't want to get the stat wrong, but it was a big number, 40 or 50% or something like that, of like all these jobs that were created.
Yeah, were like they were gigs.
And they were a lot of them were government jobs.
Yep.
That Elon is now going in and finding and getting rid of.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we need the numbers up. Oh, let's create 1,000 positions at the EPA. Let's hire 87,000 IRS workers, to rob from the poor and give to the rich, stuff like that.
But I thought that this made a lot of sense. He says, however, what I can say with confidence is that the numbers are significantly worse than you think that they are. So when they actually come out and they say what these numbers are, the truth is going to be significantly worse.
Yeah.
So the forecast is 114K. The previous was 147K. The actual is 62K. And he's saying that he believes that they are significantly worse than this.
Is that from today? Because I didn't even look up Forex Factory today.
This is 12 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And so what he's saying is that these numbers right here are cooked. And so they're actually worse. This is making them look good. Anyways, yeah.
Here, hold on real quick. Since we are talking about that, let me show this real quick. So these are the numbers. So this is Forex Factory. You guys know I talk about this all the time. And here it is, the ADP non-farm roll payroll, 62K with a forecast of 114. We'll look at our GDP. Our GDP quarter over quarter, our forecast was a rise of 0.2%. We actually retracted 0.3%. That's crazy.
In the previous,
we did hit our forecast on the employment cost index. And then let's see what's core.
But think about these numbers, okay? Everybody, this is what I say all the time. If your job is completely built around the fact that when these numbers are projected, we hit these numbers, and that's your job. is to gather the information and present the information and have it in such a way that, you know, everything lines up.
Well, that's
what do you think you're going to do?
That's the old, like the old saying, like a statistician can make his numbers say whatever you want them to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He who controls the statistics controls the information. You know?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, like, yeah, we really need to be concerned about these things. This is why, like, I think crypto and some of these things are exciting about having like objective truth and verifiable information that is transparent on the blockchain, being able to resource information that is accurate and have multiple different places that corroborate that information that are not just from one place. And I mean, I talk about this a lot, but there was a case, a like legal battle with Amazon, and it was because one of their like somebody sued them because there was a book, like in one of the books, it was Pride and Prejudice. The AI that they had automatically changed anytime that something said like Kindle.
Yeah.
And so they changed the word. And so you can go in and find this court case. And then when you go to the site where it like has the information, like the documents, it's actually not supported by Amazon Web Cloud. So it gives you like a 404 thing. So the thing is that Amazon is I mean, like all of the information on the internet is basically on Amazon. A lot of it, right? They have cloud services. They host a lot of information, but they can choose not to host information. So this is like an example of the need for decentralized information and not having any big entities controlling a lot of this information, because again, you can't find out what happened in that court case.
Well, that's how they I mean, this example is a little different, and I'm not going to get into politics or anything, but you remember the web app Parler?
Yeah.
The Parler, the social media site, right? It was gaining a lot of traction in 2020 because they said it was like the alt-right version of Twitter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, it was a coordinated attack where Amazon Web Service just quit hosting them. And like the Play Store quit hosting them, Android or not Android, that whatever Apple's store is quit hosting them. And it's just like, so they control, not only can they change the flow of information or what's presented, as in the Kindle Pride and Prejudice thing, but they can control who posts information also. So that's,
I'm going to say this just because we need to get off this topic, but the TikTok ban, that's why I hate and I'm scared and don't like the TikTok ban, because what it would allow the government to do is geofence our access to information. They would dictate what sites are not acceptable for us to like access.
TikTok. I have to push back on that because there's some confusion in that. That is not true. That is not true.
VPN part?
No, you don't even need a VPN. You can sideload. If you're on a Samsung, you just sideload like an APK and sideload the app. What it stops, the only thing with and I agree that TikTok should be banned in my opinion.
No. I think TikTok.
I agree it should be banned.
I don't think that's the main point.
But the thing, what the bill says is that it's not that it's banning. It's not banning TikTok. It's banning American servers from hosting it. As in, Google Play Store will get in trouble if they allow the app on their Play Store.
Yeah.
Apple will. Huh? But it's not geofencing. It's not geofencing because you go to TikTok.com or whatever the hell the website is and you can get on TikTok.
But
it's just
if the government decides that there are certain things that they don't want us to have access to, then those things could also be on those lists that are not supported here. And that is where I think it's a slippery slope.
Well, to a certain extent, but if you read the actual, because it's an actual bill, it's an actual law passed by Congress and everything like that. If you read it, there is a lot of stipulations. It's got to have more than 1 million subscribers, or it's got to have more than 1 million users. It's got to be owned by a foreign country. There's a lot of things. And I think TikTok should be banned just for the simple fact that we are allowing a foreign country to like manipulate algorithms
and
of
harvest
what we
all
see.
our information. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Facebook does it. We know X does it. We know Instagram does it, right?
But
those are American companies that can essentially be sued. Will you win? Probably not. But you can hit them with the FOIA. You can hit them with a lawsuit. You can't sue TikTok. You understand what I'm saying? It's held by a foreign country. There's a reason that like a lot of these other countries put those stipulations on Twitter and on why certain things aren't allowed in China. You know what I mean? Because they don't want, I don't know. I think it's a bigger deal than that, but
yes, 100%. Besides that, I mean, this was just some tech stuff. I don't know if you saw this.
No, what is this?
But this is like a robot that can do tasks.
And that's a like robot?
Yeah. A particle.
And just went through those bars?
Yeah, dude. Particle armored liquid robot. They can like do tasks, can like separate things and will stay together and all kinds of stuff.
I would just like to point everybody to the old movie, The Blob. That's all I'm going to say on that.
But I thought this was cool. I like this kind of stuff. This comes from Korea or South Korea, Seoul National University Science, Advanced Science. I thought this was cool. I like this stuff.
I mean, that's cool, but
yeah. And then check out this guy, Adith. I can't pronounce it, but AADITSH. Follow him on Twitter. He's talking about how you can build all kinds of stuff with AI. And this is bullish. I'm very excited about this. I actually have been, I got quoted like $5,000 to build a website. And I started working with all kinds of different AIs to try to build the website myself. And, I got some stuff done. So I might eventually be able to build a pretty cool website without actually having to pay $5,000 to anybody, and really with just going back and forth, not knowing any coding and stuff with some of these AI things. So that guy had a really cool breakdown of some of the tools and things that people are doing. I've seen people build some games. So definitely.
Bro, that's the future. Imagine this. So right now we go on Netflix and chill, right? You go on Netflix, you search for movies. Well, in 10 years, imagine going on Netflix and saying, hey, I want to watch a movie in the style of Scorsese with Jason Statham, The Rock, and so, and I want the storyline to be about X, Y, and Z. And it's just going to boom, here you go. Here's an hour and 30-minute movie with those parameters. Yeah. Telling you. Yeah, the T1000.
100%. I just like anything tech, anything new, anything cool. I like it. So that was exciting to me.
Okay, so we have Optimus Prime.
Yes.
From Tesla, right? The robot. Okay. We have OpenAI. Probably the biggest AI company in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we have T1000 like blob material. That's like the trifecta for Skynet, bro.
Yeah, Skynet is soon. Yeah,
Skynet is soon.
We're getting there. But, who's to say we're not already in the pods, bro? Who's to say we're not already in the pods?
Well, somebody needs to update my software because this really sucks.
Well, I keep saying every so often something crazy will happen. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm in the pod. I don't know if I want to get out, you know what I mean? But I don't want to stay here either. So, but that's what we got there. I guess we can look at some of the market stuff. I'm not sure if you want to do all that. We don't necessarily have to.
We'll look at a couple. We'll look at a few things just because it is the monthly close today for Bitcoin. So we'll look at a few things real quick. Boom. Let's get a little bit bigger screen. All right, there we go. So today is the monthly close, and look at that beautiful engulfing green candlestick with a huge pump. And this is, so when we were talking earlier about there's some good signs. If we come down here to the stochastics, you can see the stochastics have bottomed out and turned. And now they're getting ready to cross. Now, granted, this could shift and come back down, but this is a nice upward trajectory. You know what I mean? It's not fully reset, kind of like down here, but we are down here at the 20 line. We fell below the 20 mark, which is in your oversold area, and it has shifted back to the upside. We are hitting our head. I've said this before, you know, at 96,500. We need to break above 96,500 to continue this upward trajectory. And there are people calling for a new all-time high in May. I don't know. I'd be skeptical of that, but it is possible. You know, this is going to take a long time to play out because you figure, you know, we peaked right here. That was in January, and it's taken till now, you know, 5 months later or 5 months later to hit the bottom right here, right? Well, that would have been April. So 4 months to hit the bottom. And then now we're into May right here. The RSI is still below the 14 moving average, but we are on the top side of the 50, which is in the bull run territory. So we're still good. We really need to break that moving average and get back to the upside. Let's go down to the weekly. The weekly is still looking good. Stokes are going to the upside. We are back above the 21 on the weekly, which is super bullish. But once again, unless we can flip 96.5, I have a feeling we might just hit our head right there and then come back down and still maybe go sideways through the summer into Q3, Q4. On the weekly, now the RSI has broken the 14 moving average. We are back in the bull run territory above the 50. So this is good. But going down to the daily, I talked about this the last 2 nights on the market update, how the Stokes are super overbought. We're way overbought. It is curving back down. The 21 is coming up. We have gapped it majorly. You know, we really need to come back and touch this 21. Not that it's going to happen, say, like today, tomorrow, or this week, and we drop down back into the upper 80s or anything. But we could just kind of roll slowly as the 21 comes up to meet it. And we get this bullish cross right here on the 200. You guys know that that's like the move. I like that move the best. So I came in a bit late. Is this the end of Crypto Nightly? I sure hope not. No, it is not the end of Crypto Nightly, Jason.
Check out.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, go back and check out the beginning. We do a pretty good explanation in the first, I think 10 minutes, where we talk about basically Desert and I just have very different schedules. We're in different time zones. We're about 3 hours difference from each other. And our work schedules have changed a lot. Yeah. So we're going to have to figure out some things, come up with some logistical changes. So that was why we took off the last week. And, but everything is good. We're going to figure out how to keep it going. We like this. We pay attention to the market. Crypto's cool. So
yeah, it may change up a little bit, but we ain't quitting. Yeah. This channel, we love this channel. We love doing this with you guys. And, you know, we love just bullshitting back and forth.
Yeah. And we might get some sponsors. We're talking to some people. That'd be exciting if we did. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
So this is kind of, I'm just watching this cool off. You know, like I said, we got that massive pump on last Tuesday, and we just been kind of rolling over. Big indecision doji right here. But, you know, this is today. We are printing, you know, a nice green candle. It is May 1st. Technically, somewhere in the world, it is May 1st. For crypto, it's May 1st. So we could see a nice little pump today. But you guys know my go-to when we're down on like the 1 minute and the 7 minute. You long as soon as you cross the 200 with a stop loss below, watch it pump, and then it usually comes back. And this is like the perfect storm where the 21 crossing the 200, you're going to see like a retest, and then it's going to bounce. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case, you know, and if we do stay in this bullish trend, Trump don't get crazy with any kind of like, you know, oh, nope, trade war again with China or whatever other random craziness Trump says. As long as he stays on course and everybody's happy, then we could see a continuation. Coming down, let's look at SWE real quick. Look at that. SWE just went on a freaking terror. And oh, it was so nice watching the portfolio just pump because of SWE going from what? So on Tuesday, we were at 220. Now we're at 350. That's crazy. So we've had since last, what is that? 2 weeks ago, Tuesday. No. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, last Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but last Tuesday, we were at 220, and we're up 60% right now in 2 weeks. So that is beautiful. And we did break the 348 SR level, and hopefully we can hold it as support. You know, we got back above the 200. We have, same with Bitcoin, we have gapped the 21 pretty bad, but it's following its trend up just like Bitcoin is. So if we can hold in a sideways pattern while the 21 comes up, that'd be beautiful. But I do have a feeling we will end up losing 348 and we'll get a little dip. Maybe we'll range between 319 and 348. But in the long run, it looks like we're going up. We are super oversold right here. So I will say in the intermediate, same with Bitcoin, we're either going to go sideways or retrace a little bit. But May could be, it may not be selling May walk away this year. You know, there's rumors that, or not rumors, there's speculation that June is going to be the bad month. So we will see. You know, inquiring minds want to know, right? And when we go through the charts, now Cardano, even though we got a nice little pump, it did not break back above the 200, and we do have strong resistance at 72. The Stokes are a lot further down than on the other coins, though, so we could just see this kind of reset. Maybe it'll come to the 21 and reverse, but we need to break that 72 to get any kind of momentum. 72 to 74 area, I would say this block. So probably the 74 area is what we really need to break. If you see this high volume node right here on the daily, there's just like a big cluster of nodes, right? And then once you break 74, you see it drops. We could drop down into this valley and hit that node at about 90 cents or 88 cents right there. So I do like what I'm seeing in the market. I just don't want people to think that, ooh, it's back, we're up and to the right forever. No, I think this is just a nice little relief rally. People trying to end a good month. You know, whoever invested at the beginning of April is in major money. You know, maybe since we had a red Q1, see a nice red Q2 or a green Q2. And I think that's kind of where we're going. If you had 10K USD, what would you buy right now? Oh,
2K.
Oh, 2K USD. What would you? That's difficult. That's, you know, I did take some SWE when SWE pumped up. We did take some profit and put it into Walrus. I do like Walrus on SWE. I wouldn't put 2,000 into it though. If I had 2K right now, and I wasn't
to put it all into one thing.
Yeah, I would definitely split it at least 4 ways. And I would probably put some of that in Bitcoin, honestly. Because Bitcoin's gonna lead the charge. The problem is a lot of these tokens have already launched. You know what I mean? XRP at 220, I think is still a good deal. Ondo, there we go. Ondo at 91, I think is a killer deal still. Look at FET. I mean, I'm not saying buy FET, but if we go to FET, FET has
That
had
was
a
what I was talking about.
massive pump over the past few weeks. Let's see. Let's bring that up a little bit. Look at this. Right here from so April 9th. From April 9th to today, FET is up 105%. So in 3 weeks, literally 21 days, FET is up 109%.
That's crazy.
So see Sol. Yeah, FET was way undervalued, Daniel. I definitely agree with that. Algo at 22, I think is still a good buy.
I do too.
I think that's still a good buy.
I think Algo is going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah. The Graft under 10 cents is a good buy. Link. It really depends on what you're looking for. I mean, Link under 15 is a very good buy, I think. You know, Link's not going anywhere. And we're in this giant on the daily. We're like in this giant channel. Come on. If we go Wix, it looks like Link might be getting ready to bust out. Let's see how it. Let's see. Let's go Wick. Yeah, I kind of like what I'm seeing with Wick. It is coming back down, but I honestly, I would probably take half of that. Yeah, VeChain. I've never been real big on VeChain, but I do see its potential. You know, especially they just got another partner. Who was it? Jason, do you know who the new partner VeChain just partnered with? I've seen AJ talk about it, but I can't, or tweet about it, but I can't remember what it is. Another sports.
Was it not FIFA?
Huh?
Was it not FIFA?
No, it wasn't FIFA. No, I know Dana White. Yeah, UFC and VeChain have been real tight, but they just, man. Now I gotta. Oh, there we go. There we go. WWE. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was somebody. I knew they just got a new partnership. But definitely, I mean, I like VeChain. And it's got, look at that. So let's reverse. Let's get rid of that. What is this? That's December of 24. So just to get back to its high in December, it's a 200%. It's a 200% run. So, you know, VeChain could definitely be a good one to invest in. Yeah, lots of eyeballs on that one for sure. Definitely. I don't know who do you think has a bigger crowd, UFC or WWE?
I think it's got to be UFC.
You think so? I mean, wrestling's been around forever.
I know. I just think that it's like more. I feel like WWE is a little bit more like local, kind of relatively. I think UFC is probably a little bit more global. I don't know. I could be completely off.
I can see what you're saying. Like American, like football is more America, where soccer is global.
Yeah. I think UFC is a little bit more global because anybody can get behind somebody like beating up someone else in UFC as opposed to like WWE is a little bit more theatrical.
But honestly, if I had $2,000 to put in right now, personally, I would pick a couple of coins that I have high conviction in, and I would probably invest half of it and then wait.
Yeah.
And I would wait at least a week to see what happens, because I do think we may even get a pump tonight or this weekend, but I do think the charts just show that we have to come back a little bit. That pump last week was crazy, just out of freaking nowhere, just pumping to the moon. all because Trump said that he is rescinding the reciprocal tariff tax or whatever the hell he said.
He's walking back, which I thought was kind of funny because I felt like everybody at the beginning was like, oh, it's just posturing. And then he did it and they were like, oh, and then like now he's kind of like, well, maybe.
No, but see that's the whole point of it though.
Yeah.
It's like the big ask. So like if you go to your employer, right, and you really want a $1 raise, right? You really want a $1 raise, you've been busting your ass, you've proven yourself that you deserve a $1 raise. When you go in there to ask for a raise, you ask for $2. That's the big ask.
Yeah,
I'm looking for $2, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can't do $2." Like, well, we need to work this out, and they'd be like, "Oh, how about 75 cents?" You're like, "Nah, I need more than that. What about $1?" And then they're like, "Okay, $1's fine." Boom, you got what you want.
Yeah,
but it was the big ask.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, I think that's kind of more what Trump is like. Hey, we're going to hit you with 110% tariff. Because you guys are killing us. And until you end your tariffs with us, we're hitting you with 110%. And they're like, well, we can't end our tariffs. What if we drop it down to 90%? Nah. But what the number he's really looking for is like 50, not 0, but 50. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's,
we'll see how it works out.
Bro, he is a businessman. Whatever you say about him, he's a businessman. And there's a reason that the Biden administration did not walk back any of the tariffs that Trump put on people in his last term because they work.
So. Yep. But we'll see what happens. I think the whole market, I think the macro economy is looking pretty crazy right now, but crypto is starting to look like it's coming around on the other end. And like we've said before, no matter what happens, even if we do have this epic recession, which I personally think that it's been just like we've been pushing it off for so long, I think it's inevitable. It's just a matter of if they're going to push it off for 4 more years or if we're going to see it because they've pushed it off for 8 more years, for 10 more years, for 30 more years, for 60 more years, for so long. So I think we're right there in that spot where, it could be around the corner or it could be just a few years away, but it's been like that for quite some time now. So we'll see what happens.
Eventually we are going to have another Lehman Brothers event.
Yes,
for sure. For sure. Yeah.
And it won't just be FTX. It'll be maybe the JP Morgan Chases and the Wells Fargos and those guys. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
But thank you guys for joining us. It's been Crypto Nightly. We brought you the daily news nightly. Tonight. And we're going to see how we get things worked out. But thank you guys. We love you all. And we'll see you soon.
Oh, and tomorrow there will be, so I did market update the last 2 days. There will be another market update tomorrow night, 7 p.m. PST. It'll be the same format as I've been doing the past 2 days. If you guys have any suggestions or you think we should change it up a little bit, let me know. We've got the consensus, 10 to 15 minutes is the perfect video length. And I've noticed that that's like me doing CoinGecko real quick, doing like the stock market real quick, just looking at Bitcoin real quick, and then getting into like 4 or 5 articles tends to fill out that spot. So if you guys have any suggestions or you want a different format, let me know. We're all about tweaking it for the best result.
Yep. And I'm going to figure out, morning Twitter news. Or something. We'll figure it out.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
You know what I mean? In the morning.
Yeah.
But you all have an excellent night, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
What?
Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.